Yeah, I'm brewing coffee for my friends. We're using a pour-over manual siphon with temperature profiling abilities. It's a device that I call the Dragon, and it's been something I've been thinking about and working on for the last couple months for the SCAA's Brewers Cup tomorrow. So you guys roast coffee. You've been around roasting coffee. You know that profiling is important. In other words, when that organic matter meets the temperature during a time run, and that curve can really change everything about that coffee, right?
Right.
So I'm just taking the same concept and applying it to brewing, but immersion. So you know that immersion, particulate size, the grind size is important, time length is important, and temp, right? In a classic pour, you're gonna have basically start high and goes low, right? What I do is I start high, I give it a time, and then I drop it a certain degrees, and I start bending that temperature curve, and it creates all different flavors. Particularly complex coffees like that, you can start digging into different layers. So you like the lemon lime, you can go for that. You want to get sweetness, you drop the temperature a little bit more. And how I achieve it is I use this bowl, right? So it's a pour over manual siphon with temperature profiling. This is a cooling sleeve. And at a certain point, I'll add cold water in it, which is a mass that's going to suck a lot of the energy away from my slurry.
Wow.
And when I want it to drop, I then just simply create suction with this, not all the way, but I create suction here and I drop it. So you can have whatever drop time you like. All right, so let's do it. So
is this like a special method that you show, or is this a method that you're in your cafe as well?
oh no, this is just, I created this to really highlight the coffee that I'm brewing at the Brewers Cup tomorrow.
Okay.
I really like what I call polished immersion. I like immersion,
Yeah.
but I love to, I wanted to do something that kind of added to what was going on in coffee, you know? I mean, I look at other brewers that I love and I just thought, you know what? I'm not really adding anything to the dialogue with the Chemex, you know?
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
So this one is meant to do that. So this Manantiales coffee, man, it's like a beautiful thing. It for a long time I didn't think that geishas could really perform in Colombia, but I was wrong. The key to this plant is to understand it's like a panda bear, right? You love it, it doesn't like you. It wants to die. If you top this plant, it dies. If you prune it, it dies. If you stump it, it dies. Not only that, it eats like my wife. Okay, like a bourbon or caturra or typica, when you put your supplemental, nutrients down like fertilizers, it just binge eats, like it binges, like I do, and it's good. But a geisha doesn't. It just nibbles. It takes on 20 grams and stops eating, just like that. And it needs 300 a year. So the farmer every 3 to 4 weeks has to go out and just give it a little chicken feed, man. It's like feeding the freaking pigeons, right? But when you do that, the flavors come. And this farm figured that out, man. They figured it. And in Colombia, they say it's a plant with a small mouth, right? Very unlike me, as you well know, has a big mouth. And so let's just hope that we got this grind right. And that's tough when you got to negotiate when you're fertilizing, you're negotiating the weather, the rains, seeping, you're doing all this stuff. This plant wants you to work your ass off, right? And as a coffee brewer, I can tell you, it makes you work your ass off. It makes you invent your own brewer. I mean, so, see now that grinder has the fines, right? So now we can defy gravity a little bit. I'm gonna use a 1:16 ratio because you guys look like you're hardy dudes. And then at 40 seconds, I want to drop that temp by 4.5 degrees. So I'm going to put in 50 mil of water in mass. It starts pulling the energy away from the slurry into the outside. And then the particulates that are hanging below that crust are going to fall a little bit quicker, a little bit more violently. And then we just wait. So we're going to do a steep time of 3 minutes, 30 seconds, and we're going to drop it in 45.
Okay.
Now, if you took a French press immersion and even cleared the French press and tried to drop it through a Chemex, filter just chokes, it won't go through. The challenge is brewing immersion and then cleaning it. And you want to clean it like Chemex paper, particularly like coffees like these, like geishas or Ethiopian coffees that just want crisp. You know, any kind of murky muddiness distracts from the flavor, and it's hard to achieve it. So the way I did it was just drive it through this paper, but a drop time that's not too quick, because if you pull too hard, paper I found goes wah, and those openings go wah, and then that murky particulate comes through, right? But you want to get it out so it doesn't dissolve too much either. Still, I can use a little bit more fines, but I'll just do a little cleaning because that crust is a little bit thick. Getting a little drop. They're doing too good of a job with these grinders.
I guess that's a good problem for most people.
So you like that burgundy glow, so you don't get that smoke from the undissolved particulate, you know?
So light in color.
So, for those of us who don't have a dragon at home, what would you say is the second best way to brew this?
That coffee, Chemex, man.
Chemex?
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. So you got a little fast, it's a 35 second. Pull on a little bit wild.
And you'd stick to the 1:16 ratio?
Yeah, you know, yeah. I know, yeah, I'd do 116. Yeah. TDS like 127, you know, 125 kind of area. It's really perfumey.
Wow, yeah.
Like, I mean, like quintessential like perfume, you know? The honeysuckle, honey sweetness, you know, in there. And it's like candied lemon and lime, you know? It's not that fucking jazz hands lemon and lime, you know? You know what I mean? That, wah, you know, but it's still really early for this coffee, really early. But sometimes you just can't wait, you know? How do we do? That's good. A little orange zest there, huh? Yeah, I like that. It's like candy. That was awesome, dudes.
That was so
You're good, awesome.
Thanks so much.